I'm sitting here in this line for federal employees to get some free food because today was the first day that we didn't get paychecks. And it pisses me the fuck off. There are like 500 people in this line. Let me show you. As far as the eye can see, nothing but cars. See the police cars and everything? They're sending money to other countries. He's building his ballroom and destroying the White House. Meantime, we're sitting out here with getting no paycheck, hungry, trying to get food, and something tells me they're not going to have enough to go around. And what are we supposed to do for another 2 weeks? This is the beyond fuck up.
It's a lot of uncertainty. Bills continue to pile up.
You're not here yet? Don't come back. Look at the FoodBank website, the Capital Area FoodBank website. They have other places where you can go tomorrow. And if it's like today, you need to be there early.
There's a lot of folks in line.
When Blake reached the line, she found out the food had run out.
I was going to get back in my car and just drive home and fight back tears.
Federal employees, the military, are fed up, and I have a message for the government. They are literally surviving at the mercies of food banks. And some have to survive at the mercies of food pantries and food stamps that is about to be taken away. I'm not making anything up. They are literally being sent back home empty-handed without food because the need is too much. There's not enough food even at the food banks to feed these people. I don't have so much to say. I think I would like us to look at the federal workers, the lines that are literally too much. They are sending messages. They're like, why do we have to be begging? Anyway, we'll watch this, come back and talk about it. Let me know what you think in the comment section. But if you're landing on here for your very first time, thank you so much for clicking on. I do appreciate all of you that keep supporting me on here. And with all hopes, I do hope and pray that God always keeps you, provides and protects you and watches over you guys, and preserves you as well. But I think let's look at this. We will definitely come back and see what to say about it. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Like, share. I'll be back with more.
I would have never thought in a million years that I would have been in this position to have to go to a food bank.
Denise Blake says she drove over an hour to this food bank for federal workers.
I was going to go down and monitor the line. So I think we're going to serve 310 clients, federal workers today. The demand is incredibly, incredibly high. There's a lot of folks in line.
When Blake reached the line, she found out the food had run out.
I was going to get back in my car and just drive home and fight back tears because I don't want my daughter to see me crying.
Blake is one of more than 1 million federal workers going without pay during the government shutdown.
Let's get you your food.
She didn't go home empty-handed.
All right, let's see what else they have for you here.
So What Else, the nonprofit hosting the event along with Capital Area Food Bank, took her to a separate food distribution center.
I don't even know what to pick up.
Huh?
I don't even know what to pick
You want to go
up.
for it? Let me get you some. How many people are in your house?
It's myself, my daughter, and I have a sister there.
You have a daughter and a sister? All right, so we have a cart ready for you out front.
I'm thankful. I am really thankful.
Days like this, it's worth doing this work. Some days it's pretty hard, but it's nice to be able to be there for people when they're in their time of need.
This whole shutdown it's like reality is really hitting now because it has gone past like the 10 days or the 2 weeks. Open the government back up. Stop playing with people.
What's up, y'all? So I'm sitting here in this line for federal employees to get some free food because today was the first day that we didn't get paychecks. And it pisses me the fuck off. There are like 500 people in this line. Let me show you. As far as the eye can see, nothing but cars. See the police cars and everything? They had to get traffic control out here. This pisses me off because you got the government shut down. They're having luncheons with Trump on our expense. They're sending money to other countries. He's building his ballroom and destroying the White House. Meantime, we're sitting out here with getting no paycheck, hungry, trying to get food, and something tells me they're not going to have enough to go around. And what are we supposed to do for another 2 weeks? This is the beyond fuck. People need to get their shit together. They really do. Congress, Johnson, Trump, all of them. Because this is unbelievable. It is unreal that this many people are in this line because this many people are going to go hungry thanks to his inept ass. Fuck him.
I guess you wonder where I'm in. Girl, me too. I don't even know what day it is, to be honest. Hi, my name is Kaya, and I'm a federal employee who's been furloughed. It's day I don't even know, and I'm barely hanging on by a thread. It's getting closer to the end of the month with no end in sight for the shutdown, and your girl only got half a paycheck, as did most federal employees this month. I'm so absolutely heartbroken and disgusted about what's going on right now. Left, right, red, white, blue, green, orange. At this point, I really could give a crap. All I give a crap about is the fact that I have 4 kids and no paycheck, and I'm employed but technically unemployed at the same damn time. And please don't think I'm sitting here not doing anything, just taking it like it is. While I do have a job, I have been applying for other jobs as well to hold me over until who knows when the government's back up and running. I have a bachelor's in IT and over halfway done with my master's in science of information systems, and I'm over here applying for any single job I can get because no jobs are calling, it seems like. And on top of that, my entire adult military life, all I have done is serve the military in this country. Whether it be in the army myself, a contractor for the military, or now a federal employee. At this point, I'm applying for anything that'll take me right now. So here I am trying to be an influencer because the bills aren't furloughed, and honey, these kids' stomachs aren't either.
The arrival of the truck, what about 100 people have been waiting for.
Okay, there you go. Let's go!
The first in line get a box of fresh fruit and vegetables. When those run out, a box of pantry staples for the rest. The nonprofit that runs this food distribution site says they've seen a marked increase in traffic. Furloughed federal workers now looking for help feeding themselves and their families. This food bank in Washington, D.C. has begun opening food sites just for federal workers. They are quickly running out of food before they can help everyone who lines up.
If you're in the line, you don't get served today, we'll schedule an appointment for tomorrow.
Here for help, but worried about showing their faces for fear of retribution. Many reluctant to give their names.
It's not fair that the federal government employees and military members are being used as pawns in whatever this is. Groceries are expensive. You go in 1 week, something's $5. The next time it's $10. It's a tough time.
This is a scene being played out across the country at airports in Las Vegas, Nevada, and Salt Lake City, Utah, where federal workers are showing up, but just not getting paid.
People got to pay the rent. They got to pay their car insurance and everything else that goes with it. So I'm sure that if this goes on for any lengthy period of time, there will be signs of frustration.
Food distribution sites like this one were already overwhelmed even before the partial government shutdown, and they say it's just going to get worse because on November 1st, every American that relies on food stamps to be able to eat, well, that money's simply not going to be distributed. In surveys, more than a half of Americans consistently say they are living paycheck to paycheck, meaning they don't have savings. So for the estimated 750,000 federal workers who are not getting paid, this is likely the only way many can feed their families for as long as the shutdown continues.
It's a lot of uncertainty. Bills continue to pile up.
Federal workers missed their first full paycheck today, and many of them now struggling to just put food on the table.
We are here to serve everyone, but right now our focus is on the over 700,000 employees that are displaced because of the government shutdown.
Hundreds of people showed up to a food bank here in Southeast DC where they were given produce, personal hygiene items, other household goods. And I talked to some of those federal workers who say they are now struggling, some of them dedicating their entire lives to government service. Now they're asking the government for help.
This is my first furlough since I've been in federal service for the last 17 years. I have children to feed, I have a family to take care of, I have a mortgage to pay. So it's a lot of uncertainty. I've had to tap into my savings, but I'm blessed that there's opportunities like this for us to receive assistance.
And Pastor Will, who helped organize today's donation effort, said he's prepared to have this for federal workers every single Friday of the government shutdown. At this point, though, there's no end in sight.
We wanted to let these federal workers know that, somebody cares and there's still hope. People, some of them I even know, have just expressed their gratefulness, their gratitude of just us being able to meet some of those needs for them.
It's life-altering.
Today, hundreds of thousands of U.S. government workers will miss their first paycheck, and many have already been furloughed or laid off. We heard from some of them at this D.C. food bank, which is providing special help to federal employees.
I've actually have never been to a food bank or have done any of this.
I do have a daughter at home. She's a year old. She's eating real food. She's not on formula. So these food banks mean everything.
With our 13-month-old daughter, we are doing whatever we can to make ends meet.
I also do Uber on the side. It's like a side hustle. And, it doesn't pay the bills. When you start to actually, look at that first paycheck that's not coming in and you start to look at your expenses, you start to realize that, hey, you actually got to come out here and come to these places.
This upcoming month is going to be a struggle for us.
I'm just taking it one day at a time.
All I can do is just continue to pray.
I'm looking for another job. I can't go through this again.
My name is Mohammed Khan, and I am a scientist working at NIH. And I'm a federal employee for the past 35 years. Today's the first paycheck I got with zero. No money in my paycheck. Yeah. So we're just waiting for things to go back to normal. We have a lot of work to do. We work on disease treatments and especially work on lung cancer. So our research has been stopped. And we want to make sure that it goes forward and help a lot of people. And that's what NIH is dedicated for, is helping people find treatment for rare diseases mainly, and also for curing cancer. And hopefully, we hope that everything goes back to normal soon. Other than that, yeah, so a lot of federal workers in our community are hurting because of the pandemic. I mean, because of all this what's going on, but we're hopeful.
I've been talking to furloughed workers. One wanted to remain anonymous, but she said going without a paycheck has really been difficult.
Since I have to admit, this is the first time I've ever taken advantage of something like this. I've not been in this predicament ever. I served 21 years in the military. I've been a federal government employee for the past 2 years. The reason I wanted to become a federal government employee was stability. That stability, that rug, if you will, has been snatched away from us.
It's day 23 and we're still in a government shutdown, which means I'm technically employed but unemployed at the same damn time and not getting a paycheck with no end in sight. I could barely get out of bed this morning. I'm at the point where I'm starting to get worried, I'm scared, and who knows what's next. And you know what's worse? No one other than my husband and my grandmother has checked on me to see if I'm okay this entire time. In terms of people I know personally. It's all good when you're up, but the minute you're down, no one wants to have anything to do with you anymore. I'm just trying to stay positive and give it to God because at this point, that's all we can truly do. And now I'm hearing that as a federal employee, you cannot work another job while you're furloughed if you want to keep your job. Like, what are you expecting of us? What are we supposed to do? We're coming up on the holidays. We're coming up on the 1st, which means mortgages, bills, everything is due, food. And now you're telling me we can't work if we want to keep our jobs? Shout out to my husband for almost taking me out here like I'm not going through enough. I'm so beyond tired of this and frustrated. We are not pawns. We are not chess pieces you use in a game and use us however you want until you get what you want. I understand the reasons why everything is going on. But what I don't understand is why we are getting punished and not paid when we have absolutely no say in what happens whatsoever. Make it make sense. And don't get me started on the people that are having to go into work and not get paid and then go off in Uber or find some other source of means to get paid. Because I'll say it time and time again, these bills do not stop, y'all. If you know anyone that's federal or even struggling, just give them a hug, check on them, something else. The only way to get through this is together. I'm clearly seeing that. We the people have to be the change.
Breaking news. U.S. food banks are now receiving more food donations from grocery stores. But is this actually good news? Now, according to Feeding America and Second Harvest Heartland, and quote, supermarkets in 2025 are sitting on higher levels of unsold food. Inflation and shifting shopping habits mean people are buying less, and stores are left with more surplus. Food that's now being redirected to food banks instead of going to waste. Just last year, Second Harvest in Minnesota collected 45 million pounds of unsold food, making it a record high. And now in states like California, new laws are requiring large supermarkets to donate surplus foods instead of tossing them out. But even with the surplus in donations, food banks report that their services are at all-time high and they cannot keep up with the demand. Because with federal programs like SNAP and WIC shrinking and inflation, families are now turning to food banks at record rates. So while more food is flowing in, this is not necessarily a sign of improvement. It is a symptom of a system that is under pressure. As always, sources from the caption, save this, spread the word, and follow for more news.
I'm outside in Prince George's County where the Capital Area Food Bank has already given out more than 100 different food boxes. They've run out and then they've had to get some more. And they're doing this in partnership with the church. Can you please talk to us, Pastor, about what you're seeing?
You got to be on camera first. My name is Pastor Carter at No Limits Outreach Ministry. We served over 170 people and we have about another 200 in line. But everybody's going to get something. If you're not here yet, don't come back. Look at the FoodBank website, the Capital Area Food Bank website. They have other places where you can go tomorrow. And if it's like today, you need to be there early.
How early do people need to come out? How early do people come out today?
I got here at around 8 o'clock and the line had already started.
At 8 o'clock in the morning?
8 o'clock in the morning lets us know there's a need. We will be here until the last bit of food is given out. The time we supposed to stop is 2. I can look around now and see we're going to be going much after 2.
And Pastor, you said, what were you praying for? You said you were praying something interesting.
The first thing is that the federal government open up. The second thing is that we get more resources to help us capture this need. You can contact the National Capital Area Food Bank. You can contact us, but we need resource to help.
You said you might not have enough for tomorrow, right?
So what happens, we run appointments to tomorrow. We run appointments Monday through Thursday. And if there's no food, we don't have appointments. But we always will have something. You know, nobody's going to go hungry. We have enough resources. We have enough other food banks we partner with. We have enough stores that we pick up from. So you'll see this today, but starting tomorrow morning, we start picking up from other stores. And we have a partnership with Partner Direct through the food bank. We pick up from other stores, and we always have something.
Okay, thank you so much.
I need one more thing.
One more thing.
If you want to give to our organization, you can go to nolimitsoutreach.org, and all our information about our organization is there. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm sitting outside of the Capital Area Food Bank's site for federal workers who are furloughed to get food, and I will say the line is stretching around the corner, like around the street. There's so many people here. A lot of people, of course, don't want to be on camera. It's not a great time for them. But I will say the things that I've heard from people so far, they're exhausted, they're anxious, they're trying to feed their families, and they're very upset with what's happening with the government. But at the same time, not a single person I talked to said that they wanted Democrats to give up on health care. And so this will be an interesting thing. Everyone is expecting this to last for much longer than we all think, into November, maybe into Thanksgiving, and they said it's really hard as they're trying to plan for gifts and dinners, etc. And for those who don't know, I'm the Maryland reporter for WMU. My name is Jenny Abamu, so hit that follow button and I'll keep you up to date with the things that matter to you and your communities.
This is ridiculous. Military members have now had to resort to food stamps and food pantries because they and their families are not being fed or paid during the government shutdown caused by Republicans. Republican Speaker Mike Johnson could call Congress back into session where they could pass a stopgap measure to assure that these military men and women get paid. But that would mean swearing in a newly elected Democratic senator, which would result in the release of the Epstein files, and you know that the Republicans do not want those files released. More proof that Donald Trump and Republicans simply don't care about our men and women in the U.S. military.
We're just walking through the food bank line, about to get some free groceries because of the shutdown.
Today is only for federal employees and contractors from the federal government. I have never seen anything like going on like this, even with our regular food pantry. It's never been this many people.
It's overwhelming. It's mind-boggling. I myself work for the Department of Agriculture, so yes, and I've run into quite a few co-workers here.
I didn't think I'd be in a food bank line. I got a raise right before the government shutdown. So we're kind of, the opposite is happening right now.
I mean, it's really no words. It's like, wow, I can't believe I'm here, because you always thought that getting a government job or, a federal job, that's security. And it's not,
Oh, this is very important. I mean, with my rent due next week, I could take anything I can get. At this point, I haven't gotten a paycheck this month. You got to save every dime at this point. With rent, car insurance, student loans, those are not stopping. Gas, electricity, but this is a bit more flexible, so this is great.
If you want to know how big of a problem hunger is in rural America, spend time at a mobile food bank.
It's 90% of what I consume.
74-year-old Lorna Hall made sure to be the first at this line in Clinton, Missouri.
You've been here since last night.
Yeah.
It's that important to get what you need.
Yes. And I don't keep the car running. I can't afford the gas, so I have sleeping bags to stay warm.
Folks here share a similar raw reality.
I still feel bad that I have to come up here and sit on a line, to get food. It's embarrassing as hell.
Leo and Donita Barnett are among the 175 households receiving food today.
Thank God we got it. We'd probably be sitting down there laying underneath a tree somewhere.
It's a matter of life or death.
It is. It is.
Pastor Marty Reese oversees the distribution.
We're in serious times. I mean, people are struggling. Cost of living has went up. Everything has went higher.
Are you seeing more people coming through these lines?
We used to see maybe 50 to 60 cars. It's doubled, and it's probably going to get worse.
Feeding nearly 375,000 people falls on Harvesters, a nonprofit food network. But cuts to government programs, including more than $1 billion in federal food aid, along with rising inflation, translates to fewer donations than previous years. 1 in 7 people in 27 counties across Kansas and Missouri are food insecure.
So this is all donations right here.
Elizabeth Kiefer says the need is the highest it's been in a decade. And they expect more people as the government shutdown continues and SNAP payments are withheld.
We have a rising number of people facing food insecurity and less resources to tackle it.
What does that mean for the average family?
Folks that are utilizing food pantries, they're going to see less, unfortunately.
Another challenge is the recent Trump administration order canceling the annual USDA report on food insecurity, claiming it's become politicized.
Without that vital data, we'd be operating in the dark.
There's a message from locals to politicians bickering 1,000 miles away.
Let's quit fighting. Democrats and Republicans, come on. There's people out here starving to death.
If Congress had to live on the budgets that we live on, they wouldn't survive.
Because in the food line, hunger pains are nonpartisan. Ian Lee, CBS News, Clinton.
Day 22 of the government shutdown, and politically not much has happened. It's still a stalemate. The White House has replied to Democratic leadership in the House and Senate that says, hey, we want to meet with the president before he goes overseas. And they said, only if you open the government. Of course, it's the Republicans who have to work to open the government because they control all three, the House, the White House, and the Senate right now. The Democrats are just there, and they're willing to negotiate, and they keep saying this. Now, in the Senate, Senator Jeff Merkley from Oregon, has held the House or the Senate floor open now for more than 19 hours, similar to Cory Booker in the spring. He's been making it the 6th longest Senate speech in the history of the Senate, and he will continue to do so as long as he is able, according to him. He's bringing attention to what Donald Trump's done for the last 9 months and what he's continuing to do and how he's continuing to enrich himself, his friends, and his family. On a personal level, for federal employees, they started lining up at food banks today. At one Maryland food bank, the line was 2.5 blocks long. Other federal employees are noting that creditors are saying, hey, we're not going to take any sort of letter from the federal government because we also don't trust them, and your bills are still due, which puts federal employees in a hard spot because they're not getting paid through any choice of their own. And it's not even like their business or company has laid them off. The House and the Senate and the White House has failed to do their job, once again led by Republicans. So federal employees, contractors, and small businesses that rely on both are struggling because the House and Senate didn't do their job. And now they're lining up at food banks. They're canceling plans. They're canceling trips. Some are having to cancel buying homes that they spent months looking for, and now they're losing out on it. Others who were supposed to close on houses that were being built by builders are now saying, we can't close on the house because we don't have what we need. And they're losing out on tens of thousands of dollars that they already paid that builder. Federal employees are struggling because Republicans once again failed to do their job.
Despite the government shutdown, U.S. taxpayers' funding to Israel will continue unimpeded. Wow. Paychecks for our own government employees will be delayed. SNAP welfare food program benefits will also be delayed. Government projects will not be going through, and even paychecks to our own U.S. military, our own soldiers, that will be delayed too. But payments and benefit to blue states, country, and military, that's going to continue on even though they're supposed to be in a ceasefire. The great noticing continues. And this just keeps on getting ridiculous.
Y'all want to hear something fucking crazy that I just learned? Federal employees who have been deemed essential, meaning they still are required to show up for work, they just aren't receiving a paycheck because of the government shutdown. They've been told they can't take any time off for the duration of the government shutdown, including for sick days. So I just want to throw it out there, a scenario that I know a lot of federal workers are now finding themselves in. If you're a federal worker who is deemed essential and you have young children that go to daycare, right now, you can't pay the daycare because you're not getting paid, which means your kid can't go to daycare, but you also can't stay home with your child, even if they are young enough that they cannot stay home on their own. You still can't stay home with them because boss, big government, is telling you, no, we don't give a shit that your child doesn't have care. You still have to show up. We don't give a shit if your kid is sick or if you're sick. You still have to show up, even if that problem is entirely caused by them not paying you your paycheck. Meanwhile, House Republicans have not had to show up for work in a month. And since July 4th, they have taken more than 2 months of paid time off, thanks to Mike Johnson. So they get unlimited amounts of time off, even though them taking time off means that this government shutdown continues because they're not showing up for work and trying to fucking negotiate an actual solution. They're just going to keep going on TV and yelling that it's the Democrats' fault, even though, spoiler alert, it's not. But while they are out getting their Fox News hits and gallivanting around the country, they're not even allowing these federal workers who are being forced to show up to work for free. They're not even letting them take a sick day. I found all of this out because of a federal worker that I personally know that is deemed essential. I talked to them yesterday and they told me all of this. Luckily, they are old enough that their children have long since left the home and they don't have the issue of childcare, but many of their coworkers, surprise, do. This is the government that we're supposed to believe cares about us. This is the administration we're supposed to believe cares about us. What a fucking joke.
So not only is Commander Kanklepuff trying to violate the Posse Comitatus Act by putting our military on the streets to use them as the police force, but under this government shutdown, the military is not being paid. Food banks have been set up across the country in order for our military to be able to have food for their families. Not only is this unacceptable, but this is abhorrent at best. The fact that our military now is facing a crisis by not being paid, but now they're forced to stand on food bank lines just to be able to obtain food.
More than 700 military families lined up to get a little help this morning. The Military Family Advisory Network hosted a food drive at Military Circle Mall to help combat food insecurity. And Dana Smith stopped by and has a look at how it went.
It's a different way to thank military families for their service and sacrifice.
I had this out-of-body experience earlier today, just seeing the cars line up. We shouldn't be in this situation. We shouldn't need to be hosting these food distribution events for military families.
Hundreds of cars lined up outside Military Circle Mall for a drive-through food bank. This event is just for military and veteran families.
Because my husband's active duty.
According to statistics from the Military Family Advisory Network, 1 in 5 military families experienced the pandemic.
It's been really tough because we had a baby during COVID and everything, so I'm not able to go to work, and then he's always gone. So it's actually been a really big concern, and this helps out a lot.
Organizers say they know it's hard to ask for help, so they're hoping events like this will help reduce the stigma.
We're really proud of families seeking out this support because we know that life is hard. We know military families face unique challenges, and we're really proud to be here and to fill that gap for them.
Like, this shit is not normal. The way that we have become so desensitized to every type of nightmare that's happening in this place this year, like, I feel like at the beginning of the year I was spiraling in a severe mental health crisis. I'm a federal employee, and it was brutal and scary and heartbreaking. And then there's like the pressure that you feel that is, hold the line. Federal employees are the first and the final barrier between the regime having exclusive control over the executive branch. You just adjust. Like, human beings just adapt. They just get used to shit because we have to in order to like actually survive. And we got an email update about the government shutdown, and there wasn't anything really new in there, but it made me so emotional to like read about how reductions in force, like it's called RIF, RIF, where they basically are using the government shutdown as an excuse to fire feds, which I fucking said literally before the shutdown began. I said they're going to use this as a reason to fire feds. That's not what shutdowns are for. And it's not like the money disappeared. It's just that we can't use it because we haven't agreed on a fucking budget, which they did on purpose. Like, this isn't that they weren't, I swear to God, this is not that they were not willing to bend on the healthcare thing. It's that they knew that Democrats wouldn't fold on it because it was such a fucking nightmare. Like, so they chose something that the Democrats wouldn't fold on. And in doing so, they forced the government shutdown. And then they have the audacity to put fucking videos in the airports talking about the Democrat shutdown and send out emails and change federal websites about how this is the fault of the Democrats, which, by the way, all violates the Hatch Act, which is basically the act that makes it such that partisan political activity cannot exist in this way. I started talking about the G-side in the Middle East just days after what happened in October 2 years ago. And I remember having like a meltdown at that time because I was devastated and horrified. And a month later, it was still happening. And I was like, how the fuck is this still happening? But then you get used to it, which, like, what the fuck is that? This is so goddamn horrifying. Everything about it. And then like, where's Time singing the praises of fucking Trump for garnering a deal? That is the most ludicrous shit I have ever heard of. This man who's like homies with the person who is responsible for this whole fucking thing. And it's like they think that they're really doing something secret. Like, they think that what they're doing looks like they're really making it look like it's the Democrats' fault. And they're really making it look like Trump really is like just an absolute peace person. Like, they're not fooling anyone. Well, that's not true. They're fooling a large proportion of people, but only the ones that are in support of them already and are brainwashed. This is not normal. And we just, because we're humans, we just adapt to it. And I just wanted to remind everyone that it's not fucking normal. None of the shit that we have gotten used to is fucking normal. None of the shit that we have gotten used to should be gotten used to. Like, it's not okay. And I want to reiterate, I'm not currently furloughed. We have funds for a chunk of time, but not forever. So I'm not saying any of this from a place of like, I'm not getting paid, but like the comments in my videos about the shutdown from other feds who are furloughed, who are calling out of work because they don't have gas money, but they're being threatened that if they call out of work, they're going to lose their job. It's so disgusting. And then the comments from people about like, fuck the feds, like, you guys should all lose your jobs, without any understanding or regard for the fact that feds are the reason this country keeps running. It's why we get information when there's a fucking salmonella outbreak with some food shit. It's why we know when there's a measles outbreak, which there's a fucking lot of now because of RFK. It's why we have security at the airport. It's why we have air traffic control. It's why we have healthcare for veterans. It's why we had some of the foremost research, like some of the agencies in the federal system are some of the biggest research agencies like that exist. And that's just like barely scratching the surface. But I just want to encourage everybody to like check in with yourself and like recognize this is not normal. Like, remind yourself that this is not normal. Remind yourself that you're feeling used to it because you're human and humans adapt to survive. But like, don't let yourself be gaslit into things just aren't as bad as they are because they fucking are.
How stressful is life right now with this shutdown?
It's been incredibly difficult. You can feel the tension, and it's heavy, and it hurts.
From the standpoint of a single working dad, how is all of this impacting life at home?
That's a great question. It's hard enough just going to work. Now when you add in not getting paid, that's when you just like multiply the level of pressure. And you know, air traffic is a safety sensitive position. The margin of error is 0. So if you think about it, it's pressure on top of pressure when you don't know exactly when you'll get paid based on politics.
And are you making enough door dashing to cover the tuition bill?
No, not even close. I would have to dash more than I'm willing to in order to manage that.
As I take a step aside here, there is quite a bit of military members and their families in line because of this government shutdown. We're in day 9 of it, and they're here for a food pantry. There's all sorts of food that is available, and I spoke with some military member spouses, and I spoke with some department heads here at the ASYMCA on why this is so important. What's the difference in the amount of people that you've seen from today to previously?
So when we first started coming, there definitely wasn't this amount of people. It was a lot, but it wasn't this amount to where it wrapped around the building. But lately it has been a lot. Like we were here last week and we were in line for like 2 hours.
In a normal week, we usually run out of food about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Last week we ran out of food about 10:30.
We are at a food distribution center today in Alexandria, Virginia, and everyone you see who's getting a box of food is a federal worker. And that's because as of today, 2 million federal workers are missing their first full paycheck. And I've spoken with folks in this line and in others. They tell me that they're dipping into their savings. They're considering part-time work. They're just dealing with a lot of uncertainty here as the shutdown continues to drag on. And for the food distributors, it's not just federal workers. They're going to have to start thinking about some of the 42 million Americans who are going to begin missing out on their SNAP benefits starting next month. Now, Congress is trying to work on a potential solution here. There was a bill on the floor yesterday that would have paid non-furloughed federal workers. Them shot that down. They said all federal workers need to be paid. But there does seem to be some bipartisan momentum on that. Also, a little bit of bipartisan momentum on making sure that SNAP is funded. But at this point, just a lot of uncertainty about what, if anything, is going to pass. And certainly at this point, no way out yet of this government shutdown.
It's hurting a lot of people. State of Virginia already declared a state of emergency to feed federal workers at food banks. Think about how disgusting that is, right? That federal workers miss one paycheck and they're at food banks.
Those are those bread lines that Republicans kept warning about if Democrats got into power, that Democrats being in power would usher in communism and food lines and bread lines, and now that's exactly what we have under Republican control.
But the fact that the government shutdown is now forcing federal workers to rely on food banks to feed their families, I feel like now shows us better than any other time, you should never look down on the homeless. You should never look down on an unhoused person. We are seeing just how quickly that could be you.
Welcome back. Where we are in the United States of embarrassment. And welcome back to this episode of another portion of embarrassment. But do they get embarrassed at all? I mean, these people are literally demolishing the White House. These people are giving Argentina 40 billion US dollars because there's rumors that actually Baron Trump is gay and is dating one of the guys from Argentina. That's another tea that I found on the internet. It's just allegedly. I don't have any proof, okay? But they are giving Argentina that much money. United States of embarrassment still has money for Israel. They have unwavering support for the other people. The other people have Medicare or whatever healthcare system that is free, education free, everything free. And then on top of that, y'all are funding GE side. Unwavering support. Epstein files are not being released. Criminals are being released from prison. The insurrectionists are being released. Oh, and you do have money too, for worse, because he is talking about how he wants, by the way, publicly, how he wants to, go and analyze people in Venezuela. He's going there. He's declared. He said he don't need any permission. Food stamps? No. Federal workers? No. We don't have money for you. I wish Uganda could donate food. I wish. Because at this point, yeah, US is going to have to start receiving donations from the third worlds. Because contrary to the popular famous belief that people are starving in Africa, it's people that have never traveled that would say that my country alone has the capacity of feeding the entire East Africa and another portion of East Africa. We do. Whether it's in a dry season or it's the rain season. God blessed us in a way that we are bountiful in all seasons. Even in times like C-19, there's just plenty of food people would not starve. Now, of course, the government gave out food, but I'll tell you what, food wasn't plenty because people were home. People have land. But people that work for the government, but even when the government closed over here, they paid people. Like during C-19, federal workers were not working, but they were paid actually extra more. The United States government, they don't have the money. So, like, make that make sense. And people have to leave the lines and go back home with nothing. People have to leave other Is this a system that is developing where nobody will be able to eat or drink or buy or anything or sell? When is it going to be too much? Because it's coming, or it is coming. This is the beginning of like those pains of like child labor pains, yeah? It's just the beginning. This man is not willing, like he is willing to make everybody suffer. People have lost their jobs. Now they can be able to feed. How many people are willing and ready to bet? We are about to see federal workers become homeless. Why do I even have to say that? But he don't care. It is painful for me to imagine that someone has to go without basic little things. People that have been working, and these people are not allowed to go and look for jobs anywhere. You've seen people that are in families, they're just trying to cope. Military personnel, the people that have served the country, their checks. But these people have enough money to buy private jets, demolish the White House and build another a ballroom. At this point, America is owned by billionaires. And if there's anybody that needs to be dealt with, it's billionaires, starting with Trump, because he cares more for them than he does for the people. I'm done. But before I go, I know this is frustrating to me who is just watching you guys. So I can only imagine what you guys are going through. So I'm going to have to wear my mantle and tell you, I wish I could give you a hug, but I can't. But I know you could feel my words, that I wish you will, and that storms normally clear. The Most High is capable of feeding birds that don't go to work at all. The Most High is capable of feeding insects, bugs that don't wake up to go and work. How about you? How about you? He gave you breath. You are his prized possession, and he cares. I don't want you to think he doesn't see. Of course, like a lot of people are praying that the government opens. We need to know that the dependence of the human being is not supposed to be on them. Our dependence, full dependence, is supposed to be on him. If he fed Elijah and you think he can't, he has a way of always filling those jars, and I pray your jars be filled. I really pray that he watches over you and your loved ones, that even in moments like this when you're supposed to be broken, you don't get broken. May he give you joy to go through all of this, to hang in there. I'm not trying to preach. I'm just giving you a beacon of hope. And from my heart to you, and from so many people that cares, I pray that this too passes real quick before, I pray that by the time you open your eyes, this has passed as well. And to them that are causing pain to the children of the Most High, of course, it's not in my position to declare what needs to befall you. Judgment has already been distributed. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and if you love this channel a lot, please subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Love you. Stay safe. God watch over you, protect you, and provide. Bye.